Hi guys, welcome to today's lesson. Today we were going to be doing the last content of book 5, so page 129 to 131, okay? So let's look first at page 129 at the new content. Let's repeat the new words. Nature, a desert, an armadillo, a jungle, deforestation, a pesticide, a volcano, a cave, to erupt, a cockroach, a habitat, to hunt, a hunter, to trek, an oasis, an anteater, a pyramid, a sphinx, woods, to survive, a pharaoh, a tomb, mythical, a myth. So there are lots of words here which shouldn't be difficult for you to understand once I have explained, but I ask you to pay attention to the pronunciation, as there are quite a lot of words that have silent letters or different sounding pronunciation to the way that we write it, okay? So let's first of all look at the word nature. Nature is the ocean, the trees, the animals that are around us, okay? That is nature. We like to say Mother Nature, okay? A desert. A desert is a place that is full of sand. It's very dry and there's very little vegetation, plants, animals, etc., and water, okay? So we have the Sahara Desert, or there is a desert in Nevada, okay? This is a desert. We need to be very careful with the pronunciation of desert, okay? It is not dessert. Dessert. Dessert is what we eat after our main meal. So it's what we eat, maybe a pudding or some ice cream. This is a dessert, different from a desert. Desert. Dessert has 2 S's. Desert has 1. I know it sounds very similar, but it is different. So make sure that you listen to the pronunciation. If you want to, you can check it online and see the American form, but there is a difference between the pronunciation. Okay, guys? An armadillo. An armadillo is a small animal with a hard shell that rolls into a ball when it is scared. Okay? So this is a famous animal. If you've watched the series Friends, the character Ross dresses up as an armadillo for Thanksgiving fancy dress costume. But if you haven't watched it, don't worry. It is an animal that has a hard shell that when it becomes scared, it rolls into a ball. Okay, an armadillo. A jungle. A jungle is a tropical forest. So the Amazon rainforest can also be called the Amazon jungle. The jungle is where there's a lot of trees and lots of vegetation. It's difficult to get access to. This is a jungle. Deforestation is the act of cutting down forests, trees, okay? So this is a problem in the Amazon at the moment, okay? There is a problem with deforestation, lots of large areas where people are cutting down the trees and vegetation. A pesticide. A pesticide is a chemical that is used to kill or damage or hurt insects, okay? So farmers generally use this when they are trying to protect their plants and crops, okay? So if I had some vines, I was growing grapes for wine, I would maybe put pesticides on it, okay, to protect the grapes. But this is also a problem because when somebody eats those grapes, they would also be eating the pesticides. This is why organic food is becoming popular. A volcano. A volcano is a large mountain with a hole in the top. Okay? You guys know it because it's similar in your language. A cave. A cave is in like a hole in the side of a mountain. Okay, so here is the mountain. There is a hole in the mountain. People go inside. It's generally dark. Maybe some animals, some water inside. This is a cave. To erupt is the verb to explode when we use it to talk about volcanoes exploding. Okay, so the volcano erupted in Hawaii yesterday. A cockroach. A cockroach is a small insect. It's generally black or brown, and it's generally associated with places that are being dirty. So we see this in kitchens that are dirty, etc. They are a small animal. Lots of people are afraid of them because they run very quickly, and they are associated with places that are dirty. A habitat is an environment or that an animal or a person lives in. So we can talk about our own habitats. Humans live in different types of habitats around the world. Also animals. What types of habitats does the tiger like to live in? He likes to live in the jungle as his habitat. To hunt. To hunt is to try and catch an animal, okay, or something. So for example, in the safari in Africa, we could say that people try to hunt tigers and lions, okay? A hunter is the person who does this activity. To trek. To trek is the idea of walking, but in more kind of sport style way, okay? So we wouldn't say that somebody treks to the supermarket, okay? We would say that they walk to the supermarket. We would say that someone treks up the mountain, they trek over the rivers and through the fields, okay? This is trekking, okay? Different from walking. An oasis. An oasis is a place in a desert that generally has water and some type of vegetation, okay? An anteater. An anteater is a mammal that has a long nose and eats ants, okay? So we have these in Brazil. They are called anteaters. A pyramid. A pyramid is like a triangle-shaped building that is made, construction that is made mostly of sand. So this is used in Egypt. A sphinx is normally a lion's body and a human's head. It is normally a statue, and it was used a lot in ancient Egypt. Let's pay attention to the pronunciation. Sphinx, sphinx. Woods. Woods is a forest, generally a small forest, okay? So this we generally talk about in maybe urban areas where there is a small forest. We would say that it is a woods, okay? To survive is to continue to live, okay? So what do humans need to survive? We need water, shelter, and food to survive. A pharaoh. A pharaoh is the king of ancient Egypt. Let's look at the pronunciation again. Pharaoh is a sound of F like sphinx and pharaoh. PH here has the sound of F. A tomb. A tomb is where people were buried, especially kings, important people. We talk about the Egyptian pharaohs being buried in tombs, okay? Be careful that you don't pronounce the letter B, okay? The letter B is silent. It's not tomb, it's tomb, okay? Without the letter B being pronounced. Mythical. Mythical and a myth. A myth is an ancient story that has some kind of base on history, some kind of fact started that story, okay? So when we talk about King Arthur, King Arthur is a mythical character. We don't know if he really existed or not, what it's based on or not, but we know that some things are true and most of it is untrue. So most of it's a myth, a story. We can also talk about Robin Hood. Robin Hood is a mythical character. He's somebody that we talk about a lot. It is somebody that we believe, historians believe, that might have existed in some way, but most of the story around him is a myth. It's created, okay? So mythical is the adjective and a myth is a noun. So now we have two idioms. The calm before the storm means a quiet or peaceful time before a time of great activity or difficulty. So Brazil at the moment has a relatively low number of deaths from the coronavirus in comparison to other countries, for example, the US. But we seem to feel like it's the calm before the storm, because we don't know if it's going to get worse, whether the storm is coming or not. Okay, we could say that Brazil is the calm before the storm, and the US is in the storm. Okay, out of the woods, we could say that China is out of the woods, because out of the woods is not having difficulty or problem any longer. So we could say with regards to the coronavirus, China is now out of the woods. They have managed to eliminate most of the virus from their communities. So they're not having difficulty or problem any longer. We could use this when we talk about other situations. For example, if you were a university student and you were studying before the exam period, you could say it was the calm before the storm being when you will be doing all the exams. And then when you've finished and you have graduated, you can say that you are out of the woods. You are no longer with the problem of having to study all the time. Okay? So now let's repeat. Is Mother Nature a powerful force that some people see as controlling the weather and living things? An armadillo is an animal commonly found in Central America and is the national symbol of the state of Texas in the USA. The president ignored his people, asking for the deforestation to stop. One of the most active volcanoes in the world is the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii, and it commonly erupts. Some pesticides were used to kill the cockroaches in the restaurant, and it was closed for a month. The natural environment in which an animal or plant lives is called a habitat. He was a hunter in the jungle and trekked for 30 kilometers to reach the place where they thought the tiger was living. In Egypt, there are some ancient pyramids and a statue of a sphinx that are more than 4,000 years old. The anteater is an animal which lives in rainforests and woods in Central and South America. Bats live in caves to avoid danger and to save energy. We need to be careful about the pronunciation of the words desert and dessert. So now let's go to let's practice. What did her premonition make her feel like? Her premonition made her feel like it was the calm before the storm. Have you ever seen an armadillo in real life? Yes, I have seen an armadillo in real life. What kind of habitat does an anteater need to survive in? The kind of habitat that an anteater needs to survive in is a rainforest and an area with long grass for them to look for food and to rest in. Why were the pyramids built? The pyramids were built because they were tombs for the ancient pharaohs and queens. Are there any famous adventure film characters that have to look for treasure in tombs and jungles? Yes, there are many famous adventure film characters that have to look for treasure in tombs and jungles, such as the character Indiana Jones? Would you have the courage to live in another country far away from your family? Yes, I would have the courage to live in another country far away from my family. I do. Are you for or against the hunting of animals? Why? I'm against the hunting of animals because I think that basically it is a really nasty sport. It's not a horrible sport where people think that the prize of killing an animal is something that you should be happy about and proud of. It's something for me that I can't imagine feeling pleased about killing an animal for sport. Are there many myths about dragons and monsters? Yes, there are many myths about dragons and monsters. Where was the young girl lost? The young girl was lost in the woods and was unable to find her parents. Are more and more pesticides used on our food nowadays? Yes, more and more pesticides are used on our food nowadays. In what ways can we help look after nature? We can help look after nature by recycling, caring for animals and plants, reducing deforestation, and encouraging others to do the same. Why did Richard's mother cancel his party? Richard's mother cancelled his party because although he was doing better at school, he still wasn't out of the woods in her opinion. Is it a myth that you can learn English without doing any homework? Yes, it is a myth that you can learn English without doing any homework. At London Connection, it's true, yes, you cannot learn English without doing the homework. Where had she thought she had seen an oasis? She had thought she had seen an oasis on the other side of the mountain in the desert. Where and when did a volcano erupt and kill over 100,000 people? The Mount Tambora volcano erupted and killed over 100,000 people in 1815 in what is now Indonesia. What equipment might you need if you trekked for 60 kilometers in the jungle or desert? The equipment you might need if you trekked for 60 kilometers in the jungle or desert is good shoes, maybe trekking boots, okay, protective clothing, maybe some kind of hat. You would also need to bring water, supplies for food, something to use for camping, okay, some way of, some type of weapon to protect yourself against any attacks from animals, these types of equipment, okay? What happened to the hunter in the desert on Sunday? The hunter was killed by a lion in the desert on Sunday. Are many people petrified of cockroaches? Yes, many people are petrified of cockroaches. Did you know that some species of anteaters do not have any teeth, but have a 2-foot-long tongue? No, I didn't know that some species of anteaters do not have any teeth, but have a 2-foot-long tongue. So it's like this long, his tongue. It's big, yeah? Was Mr. Jones's illness serious? Sorry, yes, Mr. Jones's illness was serious, but the doctor says he is out of the woods now. Would you encourage your son to follow his dreams if he wanted to become a ballet dancer? Yes, I would encourage my son to follow his dreams if he wanted to become a ballet dancer. If you found a box of treasure at the beach, what would you do? If I found a box of treasure at the beach, I would open it, see what was inside, see if they had any value, and then I would probably take it to a museum because treasure in a treasure box is probably some kind of historical value rather than being able to sell it by yourself. What happened when the archaeologists entered the pyramid? When the archaeologists entered the pyramid, they found the tomb of a pharaoh full of treasure. Does the trainer always encourage the football players to go to bed early before a match day? Yes, the trainer always encourages the football players to go to bed early before a match day. Should parents encourage their children to try their best at school? Yes, parents should encourage their children to try their best at school. What would you say to encourage someone to study English? I would say English is a really important language. It's probably the most important language worldwide. I would also tell them about what types of opportunities that speaking a second language could bring, such as a better job, travel, opportunity to study abroad, etc. To encourage someone to study English. What is a sphinx? A sphinx is a mythical character with the head of a human and the body of a lion. Should we have courage to fight for what we believe in? Yes, we should have courage to fight for what we believe in life. Tell me about someone who you think has shown great courage in life. Someone who I think has shown great courage in life is my aunt, because she is sick and she has a brain tumor, but she is really showing her courage by making sure that she's still positive throughout this very difficult situation. So she's always shown quite a lot of courage in her life because of the difficulties that she's got through. And I think that's an inspiration for us. It makes me believe that we should always make the most of every moment of our lives. And we are my generation generally likes to complain a lot, when really what we have nowadays is a lot more than most people had in the past. Anyway, guys, so we have finished the book 5 content, okay? I have 2 homework things for you to do, which is news and levels. I've already sent you the link, okay? It's about technology. We're going to be talking about that in the live on Thursday. And also, if you haven't sent to me, you need to send me a photo of the activity of the pearl, which you had at the end of the book for chapters 4 to 6, okay? On Friday, I will be sending you, for you to do over the weekend, the activity, the formal activity, for you guys to do about these 3 chapters, okay? I hope you guys are enjoying the book. And on Thursday, I will look forward to having a discussion with you about the news and levels, doing the revision from the book, and correcting the pearl activity that you will have sent me. Okay, so I will see you on our next live. Take care, guys. Thanks.